Hey guys, Bill here. Quick video. Whether to DIY or hire a contractor, and this is a very interesting topic. Um, it's funny. I might be shooting myself in the foot for making this video, but hey, it is what it is, and we'll roll with it. Um, there are times, depending on your skill level, where it makes more sense to DIY something, but there's a lot of factors to consider. And what I typically call it is the homeowner special. If I see something that's wrong or incorrect, you might not know the difference, but like a professional or a specialist would. We typically see that around plumbing and electrical. And I am of the mindset that you should know how to do many things around your home, but if you're not comfortable doing it, hire a professional. If you're not sure if it's going to be safe at the end of it, hire a professional. Okay. Um, Let me just put this in perspective. I think as it stands right now in the U.S., if you're doing like a production house, right? So you got like a cookie cutter neighborhood, nothing special. No pools, no saunas, no heated driveways, just stuff like that. On average, it takes between 22 to 24 subcontractors for that developer to build that house. So you've got guys who are specialists, like your electricians, your plumbers, your HVAC guys, um, your drywall hangers, your mudders, your tapers, your framers, your trim carpenters, your flooring guys, your masons if you have a chimney, your concrete guys, your roofer. Again, like I'm blanking right now, but there's a lot, and those guys have invested a lot of time into learning their trade and the tools. The tools are not cheap. Um, yeah, I mean, it's preposterous this day and age what tools cost, especially if you buy nicer stuff. So the tools alone might make it cost prohibitive to actually DIY it. Seriously, it's crazy to even say that, and I can't believe I am, but it's totally true. If you really crunch the numbers, it might be cheaper to hire somebody to do it. Um, but again, like I work in my own house. I am super picky about who comes into my home to work on it. Um, I'm also probably the worst client because I'm there over their shoulder talking the entire time, asking them questions about stuff. It's who I am. I've always been interested in construction, how things are done. Um, there's many times too, like I just call it installer preference. Like you can kind of see behind me, there's a mini split system up there. I just told the guy, the wall behind this is torn apart. I just told the guy, honestly, uh, you know, whatever's easier for you to run the lines and do stuff like that in the walls, do it. Like we'll work around your work and we can do that and be okay. So it really depends. Like if you're, let's just use the example of a mini split system. They actually make DIY kits now, which is kind of cool. So if you're mechanically inclined and you're into that stuff, that might be a good option for you if your house doesn't already have it. You can buy the kit online, do it, but you do have to be aware that when you drill through various things, like if you have a gas line in the wall, know where it is. Because if you hit a propane line and you clip it, you can blow your house up. Seriously, or you can set it on fire. It's a common thing that happens. And even professionals that the gas lines were not supposed to be there, or they weren't even properly marked. That's another thing that we see all the time around here with propane. The propane lines aren't properly marked. And so you don't know if that's a propane line or not. And you always assume it is, but it might not be. Or it could be an abandoned propane line. My house was riddled with them in the basement. We actually had, I want to say, at least 3 abandoned propane lines. So it has no markings on it, just a very thin, flexible copper tube, and it was just left there. So we didn't know if it was live or not. And eventually, I could trace it back and figure it out. But that's something to consider if you're drilling or cutting into walls. Another example is this wall load bearing or not? This wall behind me is not, and I can tell by looking up and looking at the ceiling or the floor joists beneath me. So before you go knocking a wall down, like consult with a professional, So like I would have an engineer come out, tell me what size beam I want to do. There's 3 beams we had to put in this house alone. I had my structural engineer come out for every single one of them because it's cheaper for me to have him come out and tell me what I need to build than it would be just to take a wild guess. Um, so if you do decide to DIY it, more power to you. Awesome, cool, go for it. I guess what I'll say is do your research. The Again, YouTube like this or wherever, there's so much content out there now how to do things that you can pretty much figure out everything. Like you don't even need a college degree to learn how to do certain skills anymore. You just go online and look it up. It's truly incredible, this resource. So again, just do your research, think about the cost, think about the cost of the tools, pre-plan it, that kind of stuff. And if you feel confident, I'd say go for it. Honestly, I mean, my wife and I couldn't afford to renovate our house to the standard I'm doing it. But I can build us a multi-million-dollar house from the inside out. So that's what we're doing because it makes sense for us financially. But anyway, guys, that's it. Any other questions? Go ahead and like the video, comment below. Let me know what your thoughts are and anything else you want me to answer in the future with these videos. All right? Thanks a lot.